All right, everybody. Just wanted to do a breakdown of the Vicente Luque versus Jeff Neal fight. I thought that was a super interesting, very good fight. I was really excited about it from the beginning. And then the reason I'm going to go with this one and not the main event is because the main event was sloppy garbage. How Maheta has gotten to that level, fighting the way he fights, man, I have no idea. That fight was trash, so I don't really want to give it any of my time compared to the awesome level of fighting in the Luque Neal fight. So I got lots of notes here that I'm going to go over. So I'll try to go through it kind of quick, but I think there's lots of learning examples here, things that people can use to further their career, things that they need to hone in on. And there's like emotional aspects in the fight, strategic aspects, lots of really good stuff. So I'm going to get right into it. So first, what do I think they should have done to win the fight? Neal, I think he should have used footwork, lateral motion, and get Luque to chase so that he could land his precision strikes. Luque needs to cut Neal off, stand in front of him, and throw his combinations that he likes to throw. The grittier the fight, the better for Luque in this fight. So what actually happened? In round one, exactly what I thought would happen is what Neal started to do. He pulled back and did a lot of lateral movement to bring Luque in, right? Especially after watching Luque's last fight with Muhammad. He isn't great at cutting somebody off, and when he gets there, he doesn't throw a strike. He wants to get there and say, okay, I caught you, let's stand and throw. And someone who's using the strategy of moving and pulling a guy to him, as long as they stay with that strategy and they don't get sidetracked, they're not going to stand there and throw prolonged combinations with Luque, right? It's just not smart. So in the first round, that's exactly what happened. Neal started moving, but something interesting, at 4:28 in the first round, he landed a pretty good combination, and he got excited, and he started to move forward, and he wanted to open up more. And you can see he actually, at 4:25, stopped himself, backed off, even like dropped his hands, changed his whole body language, told himself, hey, I need to back off. That's not the game plan. I don't want to get into a dogfight with this guy. That's exactly what he wants. And so super smart of him to back off and catch himself when he was about to pull away from the strategy. Another thing that Neal did great in the first round was he didn't stay straight in the middle when he threw his hook, right? Because that can open you up for that straight right hand, which is going to be faster than your hook most times, right? But what he did a really good job at is moving his head offline as he threw his hook. So he's a southpaw, and Luque was orthodox. So when he would throw his hook, he would get his head to the outside of Luque's right hand. Bang! So that he didn't eat that straight shot coming down the middle. Really, he did a really excellent job at his head movement when he threw punches, which is something that a lot of guys don't do. They usually stay in the middle because they're only thinking about what they're going to do and not possible repercussions of not moving their head. So at 3:18, Neal had been circling left a lot in the first round, which, is kind of considered wrong, circling into the strong side of your opponent. But one, if you're completely disengaged from your opponent, you're not in striking range, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter where you go, right? You can't get hit. So, that doesn't matter. But he was moving to the left even in striking range, which is okay because he was getting to the outside of the elbow, right? If I stay directly in the middle and I'm moving to the strong side, you're going to run into stuff. But if I'm getting my head to the outside and moving this direction, you're pretty safe. Now, what he did was he had kept circling to the left, and then he went the more traditional route and got to the outside of Luque's lead foot. And when he did that, that splits their guard, right? That jab hand is going to be right in the middle, so that allows me to come around or go down the middle. And he threw a pinpoint laser jab cross. Bang, bang, right down the middle. And he didn't even, put a ton on it, right? It was just so crisp and clean and down the middle that rocked Luque. So, let's see here. So the first round was really a lot about that movement, and keeping Luque off balance with that, right? He didn't attack him with tons of hard combinations. He was just trying to be super smart with it. Once Neal rocked Luque, he kind of forgot the game plan just a little bit, and he wanted to come in. Now, when he was backing up, he was doing really good at lateral movement. But once he got him hurt, he went straight in and tried to land a bunch of punches. And that's actually where Luque landed his best shot of the first round, which was a left hook, I believe. And you can tell it cracked Neal. It was a solid shot. And he actually pulled back and was like, whoa, I need to get back to the game plan. I don't need to finish this guy in one outing. I'm here to beat him over the long haul. And so super smart by him to pull back and get right back into the game plan. Wasn't smart of him to charge straight in and not use head movement and lateral movement even when he was coming forward. That's super important, even when you're being aggressive. Now, another thing that Neal was doing that I loved was he used his cross a lot like a jab. A lot of times he would pump it like a jab, like double it up without like totally resetting. And I think that timing threw Luque off. For some reason, Luque was just having an awful time trying to read that left hand. Now, things he could have done to try to read the left hand would be to circle away from it, right? So not trying to read the left hand, but just getting away from the left hand. Circle away from it, right? Luque wants to get in front of you, and now let's throw, right? But man, he was eating those precision left hands. So getting to the outside of Neal's lead foot away from that left hand would have been smart, because clearly he wasn't fast enough to parry it or just move his head in a reaction type motion. If you're going to use head movement, your head movement needs to be continuous, right? As long as you're not getting in a pattern. But just to think that you're going to stand like this and then read this punch, be able to get out of the way, I think that's a little tricky. It's giving yourself a lot of credit. You need to be moving your head constantly while you're coming in and getting away from that left hand. He clearly wasn't fast enough to parry or move his head, so he needed to be doing those things preemptively and not in a reaction type motion. But Luque, some of the things that Luque did do well in the first round, he started off with a big right low kick, and it was solid. Things like that were what he needed to do to keep Neal off balance from landing that left hand. That low kick would take his base out from underneath him and make it hard for him to come in and land that left hand, but also throwing high kicks, right? If Luque were throwing right high kicks, Neal would have to glue that left hand to his head, right? It's very hard to counter off of a high kick. You can counter off of a low kick. You're going to eat the low kick, though, right? So you don't want to do that too often. You need to make the guy pay when they throw the kick to the body, so they don't want to do it anymore, right? And the head kick, though, you're going to have to glue the hand here. You can't take a head kick and throw your left hand at the same time. So high kicks by Luque and low kicks to upset the balance of Neal, I think would have been his best bet coming into that first round. Or maybe not even coming into the first round. Maybe he thought he was going to be okay defending the left hand, and he wasn't. So those are things that he should have started adding right away to stop Neal from landing those left hands.